I welcome you all for the third lecture on biomedical instrumentation on behalf of Bharat Institute of Science and Technology. Topic to be discussed is bioelectric signal processing. What is bioelectric signal? The signals which are usually taken to be the changes in electric current produced by some electric potential differences across a specialized tissue or organ or a cell like the nervous system. Thus, among the best known bioelectric signals are electroencephalogram (EEG), magnetoencephalogram, galvanic skin response, electrocardiogram, electromyogram, and heart rate variability. Electrocardiogram, shortly called ECG, is the record of electrical activity of the heart. Typical bandwidth is 0.5 to 125 Hz. Typical waveform is rhythmic waveform. Typical amplitude is 1 to 10 millivolt. The PQRST are the curve shown by the electrical activity of the heart. The characteristics of ECG are the P wave is the atrial depolarization. PQ segment is the AV nodal delay, and QRS, the part of the curve, shows the ventricular depolarization or atrial repolarization. The ST segment is the ventricular ejection period. P wave is the ventricular repolarization. PP segment is ventricular filling period. The significance of this ECG record is the diagnosis of various heart arrhythmias such as tachycardia, bradycardia, or heart block, etc. This is the electroencephalogram, the waves exhibited by our brain. This ECG is a record of some of the biopotentials generated by the individual neurons or the electrical activity of the brain. Typical bandwidth is 0.1 to 100 Hz. Typical amplitude lies between 10 to 100 millivolts. Typical waveform is highly random. The first waveform is a beta waves, which whenever our brain is excited. The second one is the alpha, which is in the relaxed mood of our brain. Third one is the theta waves. Whenever we feel drowsy, the brain exhibits this kind of waveform. The sleep signals and the deep sleep signals are shown here. Deep sleep signal is denoted as delta waves, and sleep signals are gamma waves. That is, you are fully asleep, it exhibits a waveform as shown here. It is subdivided into 5 bands, namely the delta, the D category is 1 to 4 Hz. Found in children, it is found in alert adult, it is an abnormal one. Theta, which is Q, 4 to 8 Hz, found in children of 2 to 5 years old. If found in alert adult, it is abnormal. Alpha, which is 8 to 13 Hz, found in alert adult and eyes is closed under relaxed conditions. Beta, it is 13 to 22 Hz, found in alert adult with eyes open under active conditions. Gamma, which is G, which is greater than 22 Hz. Classical significance of these ECG recordings give that the diagnosis of our brain asymmetry, epilepsy, mental disorders, etc., are in the study of sleep patterns. Phonocardiogram, shortly called PCG, it is a record of the heart sounds. The first and the second heart sounds are heard well, but the third and fourth are not. Heart sounds are generally used for the diagnosis of the valves related diseases, such as abnormal heart sounds are called murmurs. First heart sound due to the AV valves, that is long, soft, and low pitched sound that sounds like la, which is zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.2 seconds to 30 to 40 Hz. Second heart sound is due to the closure of semi-lunar valves. Short, sharp, and high-pitched sound sounds like dub, which is zero point 0.08 to zero point 0.1 seconds, that is 50 to 70 Hz. Third heart sound due to the ventricular vibrations resulting from onrush of blood immediately after the opening of the AV valves. Very short, which is 0.04 seconds. Fourth heart sound due to the atrial contraction. D shows the frequency waveform of our heart, which shows the systolic and diastolic responses with respect to time. The frequency of these two operations done when our first heartbeat is heard, the second heartbeat is heard, namely we uh, denote that sound as lub and dub actually. This shows the frequency spectrum diagram with respect to time versus frequency. Electrooculogram (EOG), which is a steady corneal retinal potential used to record the eye movements in sleep and dream, to evaluate reading ability and visual fatigue. Eye movements less than 1 degree and greater than 30 degree. And it is difficult to record because of lack of accuracy and lack of proportion. This shows that EOG signals for vertical and the PCA topographies and the waveforms when the eye blink. And this is the output for a EOG signal when it is in the vertical position. And this is the output voltage versus your up down movement of your eye, and this gives the waveform or the amplitude of the particular movements shown here. This is the PCA topography shown here. So electromyogram is a record of electrical activities of our muscles. Typical bandwidth is 300 to 3000 Hz. Typical amplitude is 10 to 100 volt. This is a raw EMG waveform showing here. This is a full wave rectified actually, full wave rectified signal. This is a frequency or the region of interest what we want to take for diagnosis, and it is averaged. This signal gives the average signal of this full wave rectified signal, and we have a histogram, the rate histogram for our EMG signal. Bioamplifiers. The basic components of biomedical system are these biomedical amplifiers, because the signals exhibited by all the transducers, bio signals, and all are very weak signals which should be processed, conditioned for us to measure, display, and find out what is the value and diagnose and take any decision. So the basic components of a biomedical system comprises of a transducer, which is succeeded by a signal conditioning equipment or a processing equipment. From there, we'll be giving to you a measurement or a display or a therapy or a diagnosis or a recording unit. We'll get the control feedback, and we will generate a stimulus and give back to the system. The system, the measurements are made on the subject, that is a human being. Stimulus, the response to external stimulus is necessary in many biomedical instrument systems. The signal conditioning equipment is the electrical output from the transducer, and it is amplified, modified by using this block. Measurement or display or recording unit, the output which has to be displayed using some digital displays, a digital storage oscilloscope, or a CRT, means cathode ray tube, or digital storage oscilloscope. Both are displayed on a screen, fluorescent screen actually. Next comes the control feedback. The output of the control feedback block is connected with the stimulus block. The input is applied to the subject. Bioamplifier is a device which is used to gather and increase the signal integrity of human neurophysiological electrical activity for the output to various sources. The requirements of these biological amplifiers are: it should have very high input impedance. It must have isolation, because we can't say because human being is also a good conductor. We should have a good isolation and protection circuits. Voltage gain of bioamplifier should be more than 100 dB. Constant gain should be maintained throughout the required bandwidth. Drift-free amplifiers can act as a good bioamplifiers. CMRR is the common mode rejection of bioamplifiers should be more than 80 dB. Types of bioamplifiers are differential amplifiers, operational amplifiers, instrumentation amplifier, chopper amplifier, and isolation amplifier. Figure shows an differential amplifier. This is a single-ended amplifier. We are giving input and we are getting output, and these are the references and the biasing given to a particular amplifier, and the output obtained here is going to be an amplified version. This is a differential amplifier. Will be giving input to both inverting and non-inverting input of an operational amplifier, and the output of this is going to be the difference amplified gain into the difference of these two terminals. So we call this as a differential amplifier. The input-output waveforms of a differential amplifier, you can see the input 1 and input 2, and the difference is being amplified by the output of an amplifier, differential amplifier. Next comes our operational amplifier. It has two inputs, an inverting input and non-inverting input, usually denoted by a plus sign and a minus sign. Plus sign is the non-inverting input and minus is inverting input. V references should be given as V plus VSS and minus VSS around plus or minus 10 volt to 17 volt we can give, and the output is pin number 6 actually. If the input is applied to an inverting terminal, then the output is obtained 180-degree phase shift. This is known as inversion of the signal. Actually, if we give any input to inverting input, the output will be 180-degree phase shifted. If we are giving to a non-inverting input, the output will be in phase with the input and output. Ideal op-amp properties are it has high input impedance, that is infinite input impedance, zero output impedance, infinite open loop voltage gain, zero noise level, which is the required criteria for our subject, infinite frequency response, and this is a configuration of an inverting amplifier. The input is fed to our inverting input and the output is going to be 180-degree phase shift, right? So this gives the output of a non-inverting input, which is V naught by V input is our voltage gain, which is minus RF by R input. For a non-inverting amplifier, we'll be giving an input to non-inverting terminal, and this is the mode of connections given to our op-amp. The output is going to be in phase with the input, but it will have a gain little bit different, which is AV, which is a V output voltage by input voltage, which is 1 plus RF by R1. In non-inverting, we have 1 plus RF by R1. In inverting, we'll be having just minus RF by R1 as its gain. This shows an instrumentation amplifier comprising of 3 op-amps connected in this mode. This also has an advantage of high gain, extremely high input impedance, and the CMRR, the common mode rejection ratio, is good. So this output by input is going to be the difference of these two voltages V1 and V2. So the gain V out by V input is V2 minus V1 is equal to 1 plus 2 R1 by R gain into R3 by R2. Chopper amplifier is an analog signal sampled in this amplifier circuit. Hence, this circuit is shown as a chopper amplifier. Chopper amplifiers are classified into mechanical and non-mechanical choppers. The advantage of this is stable gain. It provides low noise operations. This is an isolation amplifier having an isolation. This particular thing will be joined by some photo optocouplers or photoelectric devices. There will not be any physical connections, but they will be connected either indirectly by some isolators called galvanic isolators, right? So this shows the block diagram of an isolation amplifier. This is the amplifier stage, this is the modulator stage, and this is the isolation stage between the input and output, which will prevent us from loading effects and all. And then the receiver side or the output side will have a demodulator and an amplifier, that is the final amplifier stage, and we'll be getting an amplified output as Vout. Advantages of these isolation amplifiers: withstand high voltage, it amplifies the signals while passing only low leak current to prevent shock. So electrocardiograph is the activity of the heart muscles. The recorded ECG signals waveforms is shown as ECG, and the instrument is termed as electrocardiogram. It gives a valuable information about the cardiac disorders. This shows a cross section of our heart. Heart consists of the following parts called aorta, pulmonary artery, right atrium, left atrium, and different valves as pulmonary valve, tricuspid valve, and right ventricle, left ventricle, aortic valve, mitral valve, and left atrium, and pulmonary artery, and so on. This is a well-defined thing. Everyone will be knowing about the heart walls actually. Heart is divided into 4 chambers, namely left atrium, right atrium, left ventricle, and right ventricle. This tricuspid wall is the right atrioventricular wall. It is located in between the right atrium and the right ventricle. It is located in between the right atrium and right ventricle. It prevents backward flow from right ventricle to right atrium. Bicuspid wall is the left atrioventricular wall. It is located in between left atrium and left ventricle. It prevents backward blood from the left ventricle to left atrium. Pulmonary wall, it is located at the right ventricle. It is half moon shaped cups. It does not allow blood to come back to the right ventricle. Aortic wall, it is located between left ventricle and aorta. It does not allow the blood to come back into the left. So heart consists of three layers: pericardium, endocardium, and myocardium. It is the outer layer of the heart. It keeps our surface and prevents the heart from friction. Endocardium, it is the inner layer of the heart. It provides smooth parts of the blood flow. Myocardium, it is the middle layer of the heart. It acts as a main muscle of the heart and it is made up of short cylindrical fibers. ECG lead system. We have typically two types of lead systems, limb lead and chest lead systems. In limb lead, we have bipolar limb leads and unipolar or augmented limb lead systems. In bipolar limb lead systems, potential between any two limbs is measured with RL grounded. This is a potentials how a lead 1 configuration will be held, how LA and RA is connected and RL is grounded, and this amplifier, the common mode amplifier is placed here. This is a lead 1 connections, how it is given. The output is given. This is a buffer which will just take the input and give access to the output actually without any impedance mismatch and all will be matched by this buffer. This is lead 2, which is the potential between RA and LL, and LA is tied and RL and RL is grounded. See, RL and LA is tied and RA is given to the minus terminal of the amplifier and LL is given as the non-inverting input, and the common mode amplifier is given here and we are getting, and RL is grounded, right? This is lead 3, potential between our LA and LL, and RA is tied actually to RL and RL is grounded. Owen's triangle, an imaginary equilateral triangle having the heart at its center and formed by the lines that represents the three standard limb leads of the electrocardiogram. This figure shows an Owen's triangle and how they are forming an equilateral triangle and having our heart as the center. Unipolar or augmented limb leads are the potential at a particular limb lead with other two limb leads augmented. This increases the amplitude of the ECG signal without changing its waveform. This lead of this BR potential and an RA with LA potential and LL are augmented and RL is grounded. Right? This is the configuration of LA and LL. They are augmented and RA is directly given to our amplifier and RL is grounded. Next comes the fourth lead of our VL potential with LA and LL actually. They are augmented and RL is grounded. In every case, RL is being grounded and we give this LA to the buffer, non-inverting input of our buffer, and the inverting input of our buffer is given with the augmented of RA and L. This is a lead 5 potentials of LL and RA are augmented and LL is directly given to the non-inverting input and RL is grounded. This is a chest lead system actually. Potential at one of the 6 chest leads with RA, LA and LL augmented and RL is grounded. The chest lead positions are shown here. These are the positions of the chest leads from V1 to V6 and V is the ground position actually. We can take any one of the positions of examining our chest. V1 is the fourth intercostal space at right sternal margin, and V2 is the fourth intercostal space of the left sternal margin, and V3 is the midway between V2 and V4. V4 is the fifth intercostal space at mid clavicular line, and V5 is the same level as V4 on anterior auxiliary line. V6 is the same level as V4 on mid auxiliary line. This shows the ECG waveform and what are all the intervals of more importance to us, and what is the PR interval and what is the RR interval, and the systolic and diastolic time periods and all. This ECG recording method is the electrode systems. Metal plate electrodes made up of silver chloride are placed at desired link positions. Good contact between electrode and skin is ensured with the help of gel and belts. Lead fault detect. The function of the block is being detected using uh, detect the improper connection of the electrodes on the skin by continually measuring the contact resistance, and warn the operator to make all the corrections by using an audible tone. And amplifier protection circuitry is also being provided to protect the remaining part of the circuit from large electrical discharges resulting from defibrillation process. The lead selector is there. The function of this block is to select the desired lead system from 12 possible lead systems. This can be carried either manually by an operator or automatically by microprocessor and microcontroller or microcomputer. This shows the full block diagram of a ECG recording systems, which has a leads, fault detect and lead systems, electrode systems, the power supply to all units. We have an amplifier production circuits, a lead selector, a pre-amplifier is there, and we have baseline restoration is there, isolation circuit, and a driver amplifier to drive the successor or the recordings or the output monitors of the display units um, has to be driven by supplying the required voltages for them. And we have an analog to digital and memory section, and the microcomputer is there to give all the instructions to all the sub units, and you have to calibrate the signal according to the systems giving the electrical output should be calibrated for the desired diagnosis measurements. A pre-amplifier, this function is to eliminate the noise such as other biopotentials or various electromagnetic interference resulting from the nearby communication links. Generally, a differential amplifier with high input impedance and CMRR is used. Calibration is the function of this block is to calibrate the display or the recorder for a predetermined amplitude. A sine wave of 1 millivolt is generally used for this purpose. Baseline restoration is the function of this block is to restore the baseline shift resulting from low operating frequency of the amplifier. A right leg driven system is a function of this block is to provide the reference point on the patient generally at ground potential. Isolation, as already I said, there should be isolation between the subject and the electrical circuitry, so that the function of this block is to provide isolation between the high power section and generally driven by 230 volt and 50 hertz our domestic AC mains, and a low power patient section that is generally driven by a low power battery. This is required to protect the patient from any electrical hazards resulting from leakage currents. Driver amplifier, this is to amplify the ECG signal sufficiently to a level required for the display or a recorder. We have an analog to digital circuitry and memory. This ECG signal can be digitized and stored for future retrieval or analysis. Microcomputers, along with user-friendly software packages like our Visual Basics VC++, can be used to control the entire process of acquiring the ECG and to analyze automatically for various parameters such as heart rate and your PR intervals, QRS intervals, etc. for sophisticated digital signal processing techniques. Recorder and printer display is a heat sensitive paper that can be used to get a hard copy of our ECG signal, which can also be obtained by CRO and can also be used to display ECG signal visually. Next comes our electroencephalograph EEG, which is the study of electrical activity of our brain, the measurement of electrical activity of the brain from the electrodes which are placed on the scalp. Action potential of the brain is the inhibitory postsynaptic potential. If the transfer substance is inhibitory, then the membrane potential of the receptor neuron increases in a negative direction so that it is less like a discharge. This induced potential change in inhibitory postsynaptic potentials. Excitatory postsynaptic potential is the transmitter substance is excitatory. That is, the receptor membrane potential will increase in the positive direction so that it is more likely to discharge and produce a spike potential. This induced potential change is called excitatory postsynaptical potential. Evoked potential is also there. This is the potential developed by the brain as a response of external stimuli like sound, light, etc. The placement of electrodes for EEG measurement is the distance between the nascent and the enian over the head is divided into 5 points. Frontal pole or FP, which is 10% nascent and enian distance from nascent. The frontal F, 20% of nascent, and central C is the 20% of nascent and enian distance from F. These are the positions, various positions. The fourth one is the parietal P position, 20% of nascent and enian distance from C. And the occipital is O position, which is 10% of nascent and enian distance from enian. Actually, this is the left side view, anterior posterior measurements where the electrodes has to be placed. Actually, this is the 10%, this is the 20%, this is another 20% between F2 and C2. These are the nascent positions of this enion and nascent positions. The left here and right here, how they are segmented to place various electrodes for lateral measurements. And EEG recording unit also has a similar block like what we had in our ECG. All the blocks work on the same basic principle what I explained, and the voltages whatever we are going to get is from our brain electrodes. The same silver chloride is placed at the scalp positions. Good contact between electrodes and skin. We have to have a channel selector. This function is to block, and it is select. This block is to select the desired combination of 19 possible electrodes. And the preamplifier, the function of this block is to eliminate the noise such as other biopotentials and various electromagnetic interferences resulting from nearby communication links. The same explanation what I gave for ECG. This is a calibration. This block has to calibrate the display or the recorder for predetermined amplitude. For example, we are going to use the usual sine wave of 1 millivolt is generally used for this purpose. Isolation, the patient should be isolated from a high voltage power section with the low voltage patient section. It should be isolated because it should not be affected by any electrical hazards or leakage currents. Driver amplifier to sufficiently take the level of the display or a recorder. Next, we have analog to digital and memory sections for digitizing the signal, analog signal, and storing it for future analysis in our memory. Microcomputers are used, and the recorder and printer display is also a high sensitive paper where we can have a hard copy or we can have a display of the EEG signals. Electromyograph, it is an instrument used for recording the electrical activity of the muscles to determine whether the muscle is in contracting or not. Surface and needle electrodes are generally used for EMG. This is a EMG recording system where we'll have two different inputs given to a differential amplifier, and we have a power amplifier to get an audio output. This is a tape recorder where the signal is being recorded. This is a storage oscilloscope. You can view the waveform of EMG. This is the application of electrophysiography, testing, clinical neurophysiology, neurology, and psychiatry. So electrooculogram, that is EOG, is the recording of biopotentials generated by the movement of eyes. Surface electrodes are used to measure EOG. These are the configurations where we place the electrodes for getting this EOG signals. This is the EOG measurement systems. We'll place the electrodes wherever necessary. We'll be getting all the vertical channel and filter amplifier blocks are there. where the required signal is being filtered and amplified and given to a microcontroller, and we have an analog to digital section and an isolation section, and we have a monitor or a PC. So both vertical and horizontal will be given signals from these electrodes. Application is it is used to analyze the state of semicircular canals. Diagnosis of neurological disorders are possible. The level of anesthesia can be indicated by this characteristics of eye movements. So electroretinograph, this is also a method of recording the interpreting the electrical activity of the eye. The process of recording the change in potential when light falls on the eye is known as electroretinography. This is the experimental setup of ERG recording system. This is the eye where we pass on light, and the received light is being received by this horizontal scanner, and it is given to the vertical scanner, and these all work together with the light modulator, and this is the source where we give the light. Actually, the laser light is being given here, is focused on the eye actually. These are all the controlling electronics, or we get an VGA input from here. This is the ERG waveform. For example, we have A, B, C, D, E as our curve with respect to amplitude versus time. And A is because due to the early receptor of potential generated by the light. B is due to the late receptor potential. C is because of the offset of the light stimulus. D is due to the offset response of your ERP, and that is early receptor potential and late receptor potential. Phonocardiogram, this is a device used to measure the heart sound, and it is also known as phonocardiogram. The heart sounds are due to the vibrations set up in the blood inside the heart by sudden closure of valves. So auscultation is a technique of listening sound produced by organs and vessels of the body is known as auscultation. Classification of heart sound is valve closure sound, ventricular filling sound, valve opening sound, extracardiac sound. This is a PCG recording system. The same, we have a condenser microphone, which is a transducer which converts these vibrations into electrical signal given to an amplifier filter. Required signal is being filtered and given to the output unit. And this ECG electrode gives the signal, biosignal, which is amplified and given, which is given to the output unit. We have a recording section also where the frequency is being recorded here using this tape recorder. So output of microphone is used in PCG. Air coupled microphone is there, contact microphone is there. This is the PCG waveform relationship between blood pressure and heart sound and ECG waveform actually. If any abnormality is there, it will be diagnosed easily, and you can say some block is there in that particular valve because we are not getting the normal waveform of the heart, blood pressure and heart sound. The rhythmic waveforms of our heart that exhibits because of this blood flow inside the valves. And that's all for today's lecture.